About this scene, Stilgar explains that when a Fremen dies, the water in their body is removed and put into one of the Fremen's pools of the dead underground. Not even a Fremen dying of thirst would drink this water, he tells Lady Jessica. It's sacred. There are supposedly thousands of these pools, and on a planet where the people won't even cry to mourn their dead because it's a waste of water, having a taboo against using these millions of gallons seems like a colossal waste. But from a sociological perspective, it's absolutely brilliant. In a study of 19th century communes, anthropologist Richard Sosis found that religious communes endured far better than secular communes. After analyzing every factor he could, Sosis found that one variable coincided with a community's longevity more than any other: the number of costly sacrifices a commune demanded from its members. This included things like fasting, abstinence from alcohol, tobacco, and certain foods, conforming to a dress code, or cutting off relationships with outsiders. The more sacrifices a commune demanded, the longer it lasted. Upholding an extreme taboo against drinking from this massive supply of water demands an extraordinary sacrifice from every Fremen, one which they're reminded of nearly every day in their sieges. In this way, Fremen culture makes an ingenious trade-off. One precious resource, water, is traded for one even more valuable: the coherence and longevity of their very social order. Fremen society is pretty remarkable. It's egalitarian, relatively free of internal conflict, extremely resilient, and capable of overpowering the Harkonnen, a group with vastly greater resources. This is, I think, due in large part to their brilliant system of religious rituals and taboos. To me, this is the true source of so-called desert power. Richard Sosis found that secular communes which demanded costly sacrifices didn't see the same effect on their longevity that religious communes did. He argued that this is because religious communes could sacralize their demands. As Rappaport stated, to invest social conventions with sanctity is to hide their arbitrariness in a cloak of seeming necessity. Sanctified rituals define what it is to be human for the believer. Although secular rituals can generate a sense of community and obligation toward group members, their performers perceive them as capricious. This brings me to Chani and the perspective she voices about the Fremen's religious views, especially the prophecy. She fights for the well-being of her people, not because of any religious edict, and she states the reasonable opinion that belief in the prophecy keeps the Fremen complacent in their oppression, just waiting around for their messiah. I, and I'm sure most viewers, sympathized with her perspective, while also finding the way her thoughts fell on deaf ears to be painfully realistic. So, why can't the secular Fremen gain the social power of the religious? Chani's secular motivations, according to Sosis, could not demand unquestioning adherence, thus reinforcing social custom and cohesion, as well as religious ideology. By directing rituals' reference toward the unfalsifiable, religions attach themselves to ultimate beliefs that are unverifiable and hence potentially eternally true. These ultimate sacred postulates are not subject to the vicissitudes of examination. They are beyond examination, making them much stabler reference than those employed by secular rituals. We saw just how unfalsifiable Stilgar's religious views were several times, especially when he took Paul's denial of being the Mahdi as even further confirmation that he was.
I'm not the Messiah! Will you please listen? I am not the Messiah! Do you understand? Honestly!
Only the true Messiah denies his divinity.
What? Well, what sort of chance does that give me? All right, I am the Messiah!
It's no wonder then, from an informed perspective, that the religious ultimately directed the Fremen's actions in both waiting for the Mahdi and fighting alongside Paul. Now, let's talk about the fundamentalists in the South. It's said in the film that nothing can survive down there without faith. This association between inhospitable environments and increased levels of religious fervor is accurate to what we observe in the real world. Natural disasters are known to increase religiosity in those who experience them. In 2011, an earthquake struck Christchurch, New Zealand, killing over 130 people and injuring hundreds more. A longitudinal study was conducted on the population of the country, and researchers found that there was a significant upturn in religious faith among those who experienced the misery of New Zealand's most lethal natural disaster in 80 years. Further, in their research on war-torn communities in Uganda, Tajikistan, and Sierra Leone, a team of anthropologists led by Joseph Henrich found that people exposed to violent conflict were more likely to attend religious services and participate in religious rituals. Why is this? It seems that religious ritual can help reduce anxiety in unstable or hostile environments. In a study of women impacted by the 2006 Lebanon War, our friend Richard Sosis and his co-author, W. Penn Handworker, found that women who regularly recited psalms experienced lower rates of anxiety than those who didn't. And the closer they were to the conflict, the more the ritual reduced anxiety. Undoubtedly, the Fremen in the south face existential threats on a daily basis, given that the place is so uninhabitable that the Harkonnen didn't even think to look for them there. This drives them to cling tightly to their religious beliefs and customs, which help them manage the nearly impossible task of surviving in the southern hemisphere of Arrakis. Dune gets it right then, that it's only certain people in the north, in relatively less hostile environments, that get by on their belief in Fremen, rather than on the intense religious ritualization of everyday life. Another thing it gets right? Religious fundamentalism can motivate support for war. In Dune, it's basically a given that the Southern fundamentalists will go to war by the millions if the Mahdi shows up to lead them. Accordingly, research has found that among Americans, religious fundamentalism was associated with greater support for extreme military interventions. At this point, some of you might have noticed the potential for a vicious cycle here. The hardship of war can motivate religious fervor, and religious fervor can motivate support for war. Joseph Henrich suggests that through this relationship between religion and conflict, there stands the possibility for feedback loops to develop.
One thing that's interesting to think about is I think there's other evidence to suggest that religions make people more cooperative, make them bond better as a group, lead to greater solidarity. So one possibility is that there have been historical feedbacks where religion led to a group, say, spreading, widely diffusing, and then the experience of war made them more religious. And so you can imagine you get some kind of feedback loop there. There could be various ways in which religion causes warfare. One would be that it makes people more religious, more cooperative, more parochial, more tightly bound as a group, and then that group is able to force its will, or it believes it'll be more successful in conflict with other groups.
So, in the next Dune film, will we see this feedback loop in action? If the holy war Paul foresees does come about, we just might. It depends on how the story is adapted for the screen, but I think there's a good chance the next film will depict religious psychology just as accurately as Dune Part 2. Finally, we've got to talk about the film's incredible depiction of what Joseph Henrich calls credibility-enhancing displays, or creds for short. This is another theory that revolves around costly religious behaviors. Toward the end of the film, Princess Irulan and Emperor Shaddam talk about how to deal with the uprising of the Fremen. Princess Irulan says, "If this Muad'Dib is a religious figure, you can't use direct force. Repression only makes religion flourish. You'll only end up humiliating yourself. Prophets get stronger when they die." Now, anyone familiar with the countless Christian and Muslim martyrs know that last statement to be true. But why is that? According to Henrich's theory of creds, engaging in costly behaviors for the sake of your religion influences those in observation to see your religious ideals as credible. After all, if you're willing to sacrifice for a belief, there must be something to that belief.
So if your religion requires, say, religious leaders, priests, whatever the relevant category is, to engage in costly displays, this could be food taboos, vows of poverty, sacrifice, walking on hot coals. So there's a whole wide array of these things that you see across the world. In different religions, that makes them a more effective transmitter. Because when you see someone engage in one of these costly things like celibacy, that doesn't seem like something someone would do unless they really believe the underlying supernatural beliefs. I mean, if you look at the role of martyrdom in religions, Jesus or the early Christian martyrs martyr themselves and they're willing to die for their beliefs, that's persuasive to a learner that this person really believed in heaven or whatever they were preaching.
So martyrdom essentially being the ultimate credibility enhancing display.
It's
the ultimate cred. Interesting.
There is empirical support for this theory, by the way. Henrik and his team have found that individuals who were exposed to high levels of religious creds by their caregivers were especially likely to report currently believing in the existence of God with high certainty. Conversely, those exposed to especially low levels of religious creds were most likely to currently report a lack of belief in God with high certainty. They also found that verbal expressions of religious belief and prodding of one's children to believe have limited efficacy in the absence of creds. So, Princess Irulan was right that prophets get stronger when they die, as their death functions as the strongest possible cred for their belief system. Still, though, Paul was able to use creds, both intentionally and unintentionally, to shore up the Fremen's belief in him without becoming a martyr. Paul fights alongside the Fremen, constantly risking his life for their cause. This earns him a place among the Fedaykin, but also, even though Paul does not mean for this to reinforce anyone's belief in his place in the prophecy, it absolutely does.
While mining. Start off with taking care of the room by eliminating the zombies, putting torches and removing the chests. Put blocks on the ceiling so that there's only a 2-block gap between the spawner and the roof. Next step is making sure there's a 4-block gap away from the spawner in every direction. So dig out the walls to make a 9x9 room with the spawner in the center of it. Once you have that, patch up any holes in the walls to make the room flush. Then make sure there is a 2-block gap under the spawner by digging down 2 more layers. Use water sources to make a line of water on one of the sides. After you do that, dig out the blocks not covered by water and place 1 more bucket at the end. Now remove the following 7 blocks, replace this one with a wall, and add a soul sand here. Add 2 signs to the side, break this block so the water flows, and then this block. After that's done, break 25 blocks above the soul sand in a tower. When that's done, face away from the spawner and break these 6 blocks, place a sign at the end and a water above the hole here. Go back down and grow a kelp on the soul sand using bone meal until it cannot grow anymore, then break it. Go back up to the sign, and when you're here, dig back down for 23 blocks. When you're down here, dig out a small room where you can comfortably stand, then place a chest with a hopper directly below the hole. Place some blocks here with slabs under them, so you can be safe when farming. Your farm should look like this if done correctly. Now break the torches and enjoy the loot and XP. Here's what to do with that random zombie spawner you found while mining.
If you place a chest and connect a hopper on top,
Love Roblox? Earn Roblox digital gift cards with Microsoft Rewards. Sign up for Microsoft Rewards.
When starting a Minecraft world, one of the hardest things to do is gain XP. So I'm going to show you an extremely simple XP spawner. So easy you could build it within the first few days. So one of the first steps to do this is actually finding an XP spawner. Now you can usually find these pretty easy when searching through caves, as it's quite common you'll actually stumble upon one. When you eventually do find a spawner, what you want to do is start killing the mobs and place a torch on top of the spawner to prevent any more mobs from spawning. Keep fighting off the mobs. Spawn. Of the latest update, determine the radiuses and how far the blocks are. You can just completely mine out all the cobblestone and the mossy cobble, and keep doing this until we've got a nice sized room just like this. The great thing about this farm is you can actually do it with really poor tools like stone. Yes, it may take longer with stone tools, but you can still do it, and either way it's just as efficient in the end. So once we've mined out the room and we've got 4 blocks at least on every single side, at least 2 blocks above and 2 blocks below, then the next step is to make an infinite water source, and you simply do this by
certain believers become even more confident that Paul knows on some level that he is the Lisan al-Gaib. That is creds in action. After Paul drinks the water of life, though, he seems to purposely use creds to his advantage. He gains enough prescience to know that fighting the Emperor's champion, Fade Rafa, will injure but not kill him. Others don't know this, though. Fighting Fade seems like a massive risk to everyone else, except maybe Lady Jessica. It appears that Paul is willing to die for his belief in the prophecy and his place in it. This is very nearly what Henrik calls the ultimate cred. So, by fighting Fade, Paul massively boosts others' faith in the prophecy and in him, all without actually paying the full price of this costly display. Okay, let me tell you why I think it's so remarkable that this story gets so much right about the psychology of religion. All of the research I cited in this video was done within the last 30 years, and much of it within the last 15. Frank Herbert published Dune in 1965. Herbert was an experienced journalist and apparently learned a good deal from two psychologist friends of his in the 1950s, but to write something this in line with psychological and anthropological theories that would only be devised decades later is just astounding. So, let me know what you think. Was this enough of an original take on Dune to be worth watching? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything you think Dune gets wrong about the psychology of religion? I look forward to reading your comments. Thanks for watching. I've been Drew of Genetically Modified Skeptic. A special thanks to my patrons for their constant love and support. If you want to hear more from me, then subscribe. As always, if you are an apostate in need, there are resources linked in the description.
How bizarre! How bizarre! How bizarre!
I heard you wanna be in the driver's seat.
Out there, it's just another day. But in here, it's my space.
Why would an atheist's son become a Christian fundamentalist? And why would a good Catholic girl suddenly find that she really is an atheist? In this video, I will discuss the topic of why some people leave religion and why others become religious. It's based on the studies of two renowned Canadian psychologists, Robert Aldermeyer and Bruce Hunsberger. The study involved a survey of 4,264 people from several Canadian universities, and it explores the contrast of drastic changes in people's lives in relation to religion. After the survey was conducted, scholars chose 25 people on each spectrum and held in-depth interviews with them. The first group they called the Amazing Apostates, which involves those who grew up in a religious household, received a strong religious education, and had strong religious beliefs, but later abandoned it. The second group they called the Amazing Believers, and this group encompasses those who were not religious, but then decided to join religion. The result demonstrated that amazing believers and amazing apostates are significantly different groups of people. For example, while for those who deconverted from religion, the process of deconversion was often a lonely path that took many months or even years, and the moment of truth often could happen in a place no less than a library, for instance. On the contrary, those who converted to religion often have done it under the influence of their peers. It also often could happen spontaneously, perhaps somewhere in bars or at a funeral, where they would turn to religion. Not because reason gave them no choice, but because conversion solved big emotional problems. Religion provided security, joy, purpose, self-discipline, fellowship, and love. Aldermeyer and Hunsberger claim that the roots of the apostasy usually lie in the religious beliefs themselves, not some hidden underlying cause. Quite often it has to do with the religious training people received during their childhood. So the amazing apostates are often those who were raised strictly religious, but later they simply applied to religion what they were trained to apply to geometry. Therefore, the main triggers for skepticism for the amazing apostates was simply that biblical stories were just too hard to swallow and seemed unrealistic. Also, they noticed a lot of contradictions in the Bible. The disagreements with the theory of evolution or conflict with science in general would also cause alarm. Moreover, sexism in the scripture and the teachings about homosexuality being a sin was also a problem for the amazing apostates. And lastly, the problem of evil. Those were some of the main reasons why people eventually got skeptical about Christianity. It is important to keep in mind that this study was conducted in the late 1990s and therefore took place before the era of the internet, social media and the so-called atheist awakening with the new atheist movement. Today we have more data and works on apostasy. Each of these studies focuses on a specific group of apostates. Some focus on ex-Mormons, some on ex-Muslims or non-believing Jews, African Americans, and other groups like non-believing clergy. Now, Aldemeyer and Hunsberger concluded, while amazing apostasy is undoubtedly caused by many factors, two general causes stand out at this point. First, the religious training itself produces a strong valuing of truth and integrity. Values children will not sacrifice for the family religion if it fails their test. This means that the parents themselves, while giving their children a religious education, taught them that no matter what and above all, to value the truth. The most important thing is the truth. Therefore, if at some point in time they come to the conclusion that their religion is not true, then they will be likely to abandon it. The second factor they notice is that being bright may encourage some students to find flaws in their religion and make them more confident in their judgment. That is, the smarter the students are, the more likely they are to ask provocative questions about their religion, and when they come to certain conclusions, they are more likely to trust their judgments and not just follow what elders are saying. As the authors concluded, the amazing apostate simply applied to religion what he was trained to apply to geometry. In other words, in the case of the amazing apostates, reason gave them no choice. As former Pentecostal pastor Jerry DeWitt noticed, people do not choose to be an atheist. They realize they are. So the amazing apostates almost always changed because they felt intellectually compelled to do so. They found too many inconsistencies, too many unprovens, too many implausibilities, and also too much sexism and too much unfairness to base their lives any longer on what they came to see as a pack of fables. They had an unusual drive for the truth and personal integrity. Interestingly, Aldemeyer and Hunsberger noticed that the amazing apostates were focusing and concerned more with the intellectual component of their religion and not so much with the emotional issues. The problems that came up most often in the students' minds in the overall survey sample were emotional issues, like what happens to us when we die, the death of a loved one, or the problem of evil. On the contrary, the amazing apostates were not focusing on them. Instead, the things that bothered them tended to arise in the realms of ideas. For example, authors write, the validity of the Bible ranked close to last among the questions asked by the overall sample, and few reported spotting contradictory teachings. Basically, the amazing apostates of the future were working from a different page than most other teenagers were. They were examining the truth of their religion. This way, authors claim that they almost never abandon religion or faith for emotional reasons. It has to do with logic. On the other hand, Aldemeyer and Hunsberger noticed that the amazing believers appear to have accepted Christianity not because reason gave them no choice, but because conversion solved big emotional problems. Religion provided security, joy, purpose, self-discipline, fellowship, and love. When the emotional salvation was absent in the amazing believers, so was dedication. It means that the amazing believers almost always converted for social reasons, and not so much to actually learn about the religion. It wasn't an intellectual drive or curiosity. For example, you've lost your close friend or relative. This type of emotional stress might set you on a religious track. Often it happens under the influence of someone in your circles. In contrast, the authors state that almost none of the amazing apostates was converted by their peers or anyone else. It is usually a lonely individual's internal struggle with an attempt to find truth and understand their faith logically. Marshall Brooks agrees. He claims that Mormons leave church not because they were never true believers, they were very dedicated believers. But in their attempt to defend the truth of their doctrine, they found unwillingly internal contradictions and inconsistencies in their religious history and tradition. And only after trying for months or even years to get to the bottom of the truth, they gradually, and often with big regret, come to realize that they simply can no longer believe in what seemed illogical to them. Some sociologists of religion, such as Jesse Smith, suggest dividing this long and lonely process into 4 stages. The first is the starting point, where the person truly believes. The second is the beginning of the questioning of said beliefs. The third is when the person is coming to the realization of the untruthfulness of the religious beliefs and thus rejecting theism. And the fourth is the coming out as an atheist, which unfortunately is a death sentence in some places around the world. Alright, so the decision to join some religious organizations often occurs on emotions, under someone's direct influence from the outside, and sometimes very spontaneously. For instance, you were invited to visit some church during a period of emotional stress in your life, or some other internal struggles. You received their love and support, and decided to join. Often it doesn't really matter to you whether there is truth here or not. The main thing is that you feel good here. You feel that it solves your specific emotional needs. On the other spectrum, we have a lonely individual who for a long period of time wants to logically understand their belief system. One more trigger for leaving religion might be caused by intolerance toward various groups. Robert Putnam, an American political scientist, stated in an interview with PBS NewsHour that all Americans, even among the most religious Americans, young people are much more tolerant of homosexuals, and we can see in our data evidence that very strident anti-gay agenda drives kids away from church. Another important cause can be seen in the change of environment. For example, according to Brooks, many young Mormon males lose their faith during their mission. While proselytizing outside of their comfortable life within the community, they are often challenged and confronted by smart people who question their faith and make them raise provocative questions that they never dared to ask before. Sometimes, traveling and experiencing diversity, getting to know people of different religions, can serve as a trigger to question your own beliefs. And finally, Aldemeyer and Hunsberger discuss the youthful rebellion hypothesis, according to which some suggest that apostasy simply happens due to a general rebellion or critical attitude toward authorities and social customs. The authors also analyze hypotheses related to bad relationships with parents, unhappy household experiences, and so on. But eventually they came to the conclusion that these hypotheses cannot be verified. They state, in almost every instance, the biggest problem the amazing apostates had with their parents arose over religion. The roots of the apostasy usually lay in the religious beliefs themselves, not some hidden underlying cause. In other words, most people will not give up their religion due to some emotional factors like hate towards their parents. No, the problem lies precisely in the truthfulness of the religious teaching. I want to thank Alex from the YouTube channel Religiolog, who was the main author on the script for this video. Alex is a PhD candidate and teaching assistant at the University of California. His areas of
Get insured in seconds. It's about time insurance does that. Get a quote at lemonade.com/UK.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code.
Fun fact, I was originally going to do another gaming-related video this week, but that's been pushed back. I won't spoil what that game was, but I will say that some of the research I was doing for it required me to look into the history of religious trinities. After a while, I realized that the stuff I was looking at was so interesting that I feel it merited its own video, which is what you're watching now. What I was attempting to research is why the number 3 is not just considered a holy number, but one that is so prevalent in world religions. It's literally everywhere, and often associated with the most important deities: the Hindu Trimurti, the Buddhist Trikaya, the Babylonian and Egyptian hierarchies, and in Western religious traditions as well, of which the most famous is obviously the Christian Trinity. But why is this? Is there a psychological factor motivating this tendency, or is it just a coincidence? Though neither I nor anybody has the qualifications to answer a question like this definitively, I did come across some ideas during my research that were so compelling, so mind-blowing, that I felt my wonderfully intelligent audience deserved to hear them. Though my research involved several sources, the fundamental basis of the video will rest on 2 essays, written by Edward Edinger and Carl Jung. In short, Edinger and Jung suggest that the reason why there's an instinct to associate the number 3 with divinity is the same reason we are instinctually driven to breastfeed as children. Both are archetypes woven into the fabric of the universe, archetypes we are instinctually compelled to follow. But now there's the question of why we are instinctually driven to associate divinity with 3 instead of another number. I will start answering this question by pointing to Jung's citation of Greek philosophy, and how it played a role in the history of Trinitarian thinking. Jung starts by citing a book by Edward Zeller called A History of Greek Philosophy. In this book, Zeller cites the ancient Greek philosopher Pythagoras, and his speculations regarding the meaning of numbers. According to Pythagoras, the number 1 represents unity. It is the number from which all other numbers arise, and in which the opposite qualities of numbers, the odd and the even, must therefore be united. What this means is that Pythagoras viewed the number 1 in the same way that many world religions view their highest deity, as a sort of union of opposites. When everything is in a state of oneness, there is nothing outside of it. There is no odd or even, light or dark, good or bad. It's all in a state of unity. This is why Pythagoras viewed the number 2 to be the real first number, because with 2, separation and multiplication begin, which alone makes counting possible. Before 2, there is no concept of numbers. Before darkness, there could be no light, or vice versa. With the number 2, though, is tension. The 1 wants to maintain a state of unity, but the 2, the other, wants to be its own thing. If 2 exists, the unity would lose its character. If 2 can't exist, it loses its individuality. In order to resolve this tension, we have the number 3. 3 is the force that unites the 1 and the 2, that resolves their conflict. Here, we might have had the beginnings of the idea of, for example, the Christian Trinity. With the Christian Trinity, there is the idea that the Father, God, the Son, Christ, and the Holy Spirit are the same thing, but are different. They are one entity, but they are also 3. Same thing applies with Pythagoras. The idea of unity, of 1, is explained by 3. A unity can only be 1 if there are 2 things being united by a third force. The same mathematical idea can be applied in other religions. Take the Tao of yin-yang. Yin and yang unfold from the Tao as chaos and order. Order is 1, chaos is 2, and they are united in Tao, 3. Though there are those who view the qi, the life force, as the third element which unites yin and yang, which would work decently alongside the Christian Trinity. How about the Kabbalists and their supernal triad? The Kether state of absolute reality unfolds into Chokmah, wisdom, and Bina, understanding. If Chokmah is 1 and Bina is 2, they are united in Kether, the 3 as 1. Now here's where things begin to cross over into the mind-blowing. Jung's essay goes on to demonstrate the influence that Pythagoras' theory had on the Greek philosopher Plato. In his book Timaeus, he speculates whether this idea of the 3 as 1, the 2 dots and the mean, is reproducible in physical reality. See, the idea of unity, as I illustrated, is not 3-dimensional. It's 2-dimensional. It is what we know as a plane, and planes do not have 3 dimensions. For that, it would need height, width, and depth. Plato realized that if he were to try and give the idea physical form to make it a 3-dimensional solid instead of a plane, he would need more than 1 mean, which is impossible, because with 2 means, you would necessarily have 4 points, and not 3. Plato encounters this problem again in Timaeus when trying to explain how the soul of the world was created by the hypothetical demiurge, not the Gnostic one. To him, the world's soul was created using Pythagorean logic. It was a mixture of the indivisible, 1, with the divisible, 2. These two natures were linked by a mean that partook of the two natures. This mean, though described as a third, contained a hidden fourth. Though the world's soul was a mixture of indivisible and divisible into a state where they were the same, they were simultaneously and paradoxically different. Once again, the threefold idea of unity in the physical world takes a fourfold form. So why does this happen? And, more importantly, why is it relevant to trinities? Well, to Jung and Edinger, symbols were imperfect attempts at trying to represent underlying realities of life. Plato's struggle over the number 4 and reconciling it with the 3 is an example of that. And it's a problem that manifests through many religious ideas. To explain why this is as easily as I can, I'm going to give Jung and Edinger's short answer first, and then elaborate. To Jung and Edinger, the number 3 represents perfection, while the number 4 represents wholeness. Now, what the hell does that mean? Well, let's take a look at why some might think the number 4 represents wholeness. There are 4 classical elements, which form the basis of the universe. There are 4 cardinal directions. There are 4 seasons. 4 bases in our DNA. 4 forms of consciousness. In regards to religious ideas, there are 4 faces of Brahma in Hinduism, 4 faces of God in Ezekiel's vision, 4 letters in God's name in Judaism. The Tibetan monks meditate on 4-sided mandalas. Now returning to Jung and Edinger, to them, sometimes a trinity will exclude a 4th element because it is incompatible with their state of perfection, even though doing so forbids them of wholeness. Let's go back to the Kabbalists for a second and look at their Sephirotic tree. In their creation myth, Ein Sof, or God as infinity, manifested his light in the void of space within 10 vessels. 7 of those vessels broke, with the shards of those vessels and the light they contained forming the universe, while the supernal triad remained intact. Sometimes, this tree either depicts or doesn't depict an 11th vessel in the form of Dat. This hidden vessel stands between the 7 broken vessels and the supernal triad. Depending on who you talk to, the Dat either represents the dark abyss which separates the triad and the 7, or it represents the wholeness of the entire tree. Either way, there is a 4th element that needs to be reconciled with the 3 to form wholeness. How about the Egyptian mythos? The quaternity of Osiris, Isis, Nephthys, and Set was disturbed because Set, the incompatible 4th, killed Osiris. With the 4 forms of consciousness, feeling is the inferior function because feeling is irrational by nature. Thinking is superior because it is rational. Sensation and intuition stand between thinking and feeling because they partake of the two. Therefore, neither are fully irrational, like feeling. Whether it is the one to the other, 2, or the one is 3 to the other, 4, the irreconcilable 4th is a pattern that shows up often in symbolic thinking. As for what constitutes this other, we alluded to parts of it a minute ago. It is the chaotic element that threatens the perfect order, the irrational that threatens the rational, the evil that threatens the good. It's also the physical, material world that threatens the stability of the spiritual, non-material world. In Plato's case, the 4 would be the material world corrupting the idea of the unity, the 3 as 1. There are other elements to it though, which we will explore by looking at what is arguably the most famous trinity of all, the Christian Trinity. One objection people might have raised a moment ago when I was discussing Pythagoras is that if Jesus, the Son, is the 2 to the Father's 1, why would Jesus want to separate himself off from his Father? He's not in opposition to him, like chaos is to order. On this, Jung raises one of his most infamous points. In short, Jung was like the Gnostics he was so fond of, in his belief that the original unfolding of the One was not Father, Christ, and Holy Spirit, but Father, Christ, and Satan. Needless to say, Jung got a lot of flack for this. In the Christian doctrine, the Trinity is categorized as the summum bonum, the highest good from which no evil originates. But this of course begs the question, from where does evil originate? In Christian doctrine, evil has no substance. Evil is merely the privatio boni, the privation of good. Jung took issue with this for many reasons. If you want an extensive list of those reasons, click on video number 1 in the description box and jump to the 5-minute 34-second mark. For the sake of time, I will focus on the reasons relevant to the topic of this video. First, the Christian Trinity is masculine, Father and Son. But what of the feminine? What place does it have in divinity? Well, the feminine would arguably take two forms. On the one hand, the feminine, like with the Tao, is chaos, the womb of the universe that God acted upon at the beginning of time. Now, some, understandably, would object to this. If chaos equals femininity, isn't that assigning a negativity to femininity? Again, recall what I said earlier on about what symbols are. They are imperfect representations of underlying psychic realities. You look for the patterns among these symbols and derive the common truths. The way I, and I think Jung, reconcile this is by pointing to the yin-yang's conception of chaos and order. Order is masculine and chaos is feminine. But order and chaos in this system are morally neutral and equivalent, both equally good and bad. Jung speculated that maybe the Christian tradition might have recognized the importance of the feminine in the cosmogony, which is why, in 1950, Pope Pius XII proclaimed the Assumption of Mary. Jesus' mother Mary was taken up body and soul into heaven to sit alongside the Trinity. With Mary, we have the second form of the feminine. To Jung, this was a partial, unconscious recognition of the quote-unquote other, unifying the feminine with the masculine, the material body of Mary with the immaterial Trinity. But I say impartial because there is still the matter of evil. Though other religious traditions make room for evil and give it substance, the Christian tradition does not. If I understand Jung correctly, and I've read an ungodly amount of his work, he believed the conception of the God image should be akin to the one he put forward in his book Answer to Job. For reasons that are too complicated to explain here, Jung believed that the true God was the union of opposites, the Pythagorean idea of unity. If God is true unity, then he is everything that is good and everything that is evil. He is all the opposites of life in one. He is both perfection and wholeness. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And here's a couple of things that will blow your mind. Recall what I said before about the 4 letters making up the name of God in Judaism. Notice that one of the letters is repeated. So it's really 3 letters represented, but 4 in total. Perfection and wholeness. And also, what is the most famous symbol in Christianity? The cross, right? Which just so happens to be a quaternity symbol. Best of all, the separation of the Trinity from the dark material world is represented with the 3 points high above and a 4th point far below. Just some ideas to chew on. I gotta say, writing the script for this video was incredibly difficult, intellectually speaking. There's a lot more evidence that Jung and Edinger cite in their works, and even more evidence outside of them to support the idea of the irreconciled fourth. However, I had to get rid of most of it and condense it in order to make it understandable for you guys. If you want to learn more, I will list the core texts I researched in the description box. If you like this video, please give it a like. It helps me out a great deal and is totally free to do. Make sure to subscribe, because there will be a gaming video next week that expands upon this concept. Finally, if you see the importance that I do in the subjects that I talk about,
Welcome back to the basement.
Welcome back to the basement yard. Frank, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And why don't you wear some more stuff and plug your own podcast? It's getting ridiculous.
This guy is
now.
fucking crazy.
It's getting
dude.
crazy now.
It is, right?
It's getting crazy.
Just like the product placement. This guy he's giving away free plugs on a show that's not fucking his.
I don't know which one you're talking about. What's the name of it?
Yeah, I don't know. I like that hat though. I like
you.
that a lot. That's
Thank
really
you.
nice.
From-
That's it. That's all you're getting.
Yeah, I don't. It's enough for me.
I will say those candies that you're wearing, love them.
Ugh.
You don't like them?
God, those suck. Those are one of the worst all-time candies. And
No shot.
We are in a great candy season. We are in a great candy season.
Easter, our Lord, and he came back.
He are risen. What is it?
Is Frank?
He is risen.
He is risen.
He
did rise.
I don't see, like, that's why I don't like old-timey English, because it's not good. Like, they were all like...
He has risen?
Yeah, that's what I would say if I were...
But he is like a capital H.
I know, I know.
So if it's like, you know...
But that's not the part of it that bothers me. It's the is risen.
What, so has risen?
Yeah, he has risen. He's gonna be rising. Take a look. There
the
he
Bible's
is.
like, yo, he has been. What did you say?
He's gonna be rising.
He's gonna be rising.
I wonder if
he's finna be rising.
I know that they make like Miles has a Bible that's like a graphic novel comic book, and it's called like the Action Bible. I wonder if like someone would like take the Bible and like translate it into like modern lingo.
I'm sure that.
And it's like the apostles were like, "This is giving resurrection." Right
yeah,
now.
it's. It's giving leprosy.
This is this. Oh my. This is giving frankincense.
Pontius Pilate is like giving Mean Girl right now. Like,
Oh, I don't like Brutus. Was that the one? No, that was Caesar.
I'm not.
Who's the one that like went against
Judas?
Judas.
Brutus and Caesar. Wasn't Caesar like? Yeah, that was a different. That was Rome, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And a salad.
Yeah, dude.
Where are you on Caesar salad?
I like Caesar salad, but I think that people, when they have like their first Caesar salad, they go down a rabbit hole. Like people, when they try Caesar salad for the first time, they're like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest thing!" And then everything, like Caesar salad wraps, bro, they're good, but everyone chill. It's like drugs for people.
I do think that we're getting away from like the point of Caesar. Like Caesar needs to be a salad dressing, and like I don't want this like bagged. I want it like real Caesar. You know what I mean?
Bagged?
Yeah, like pre-made Caesar. Have you seen?
Nah,
have you seen those the people at the restaurants making it with like just 2 spoons?
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I went to a restaurant, I got the Caesar, and then they like take a little anchovy and they crush it up and they like fucking.
That's the only place that I'm like cool with mustard, knowing that it's there. You know what I mean?
In
like,
a Caesar?
In a Caesar. Like I know mustard's in there, and I'm like, I'll allow it.
Yeah. You like Caesar salad wraps?
Chicken Caesar salad wrap, sure. What I was gonna say is, isn't it weird? What's the lettuce where they kind of just put a head of lettuce on it on the plate?
Like a wedge?
Like a wedge salad?
Not weird.
I love lettuce. You're never gonna get an argument with me about lettuce.
I like it too because you kind of like it's like a boat. It like fills it. What's the red ones? Endives?
Endives, I believe. Yeah.
Those are good because they usually pack those bitches.
I like when it comes in like the like romaine, and you can like peel it, and it's like you can make like a lettuce wrap with it.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like when it helps me eat, not when I need to like do the work for it.
I like when it's like a shovel. That I can like shovel shit in my face.
I do like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Caesar salad's great. It's a great salad.
You
but
know
it's
what
not
is
the only one
weird?
that
You ever
exists.
had butter lettuce?
Yeah, what is that?
It's like, it looks like a full head of lettuce, but there's like 8 leaves in it.
Yeah.
And then they're just like super crunchy. I want all the leaves all the time. I can eat a whole head of lettuce at will.
I'm an arugula groupie. Like, I'm into it.
Arugula is such an underrated form of greenery. Kale?
Kale's kind of...
Here's the thing with kale. it holds dressing well.
It's pretentious to me.
Because it got like little nooks and crannies in there where it'll like just hold a little bit.
Yeah, it's a very outdoorsy looking lettuce. Like, it looks like this. You got this from outside.
I'm sure it
Which
is.
you did, but like, you know what I mean.
I'm sure it is healthy for you, but like it seems like it's the type of lettuce, or it's not lettuce. It's the type of greenery that like you have it to like appear more healthy. You know what I mean?
It's the caviar of
yeah,
greens.
like you don't know what you're doing. You're just eating kale because you're told it's the best.
Yeah, like this isn't like a kale salad. No, not for me.
Too much.
That's like having a bowl of caviar. Like, you're not gonna have. This is like a little.
Yeah.
It's got to be mixed in with other shit.
I'll tell you who is a pretentious bastard. Who the fuck does spinach think it is? Spinach can kiss my ass.
Whoa, I feel like I kind of like spinach.
I like it, but like not to the point where everyone's just like, oh my god, spinach.
It's just like in everything. They kind of like throw it in your shit. I don't mind it. I don't like when they start all bunching up in my wrap, and then I take a bite and I'm like, I mean, just spinach now?
I had great salads in my life. I've never made a great salad because all of my stuff gets to the bottom, and then I have to like.
Yeah, I gotta do this thing.
I gotta.
I can't do that.
I gotta like fluffily like air it up. You know, I don't like it. It's too much work to be healthy.
Have you ever used one of those fucking salad things? Where you
Have
just crank it?
Oh, I don't have the crank. I have the button.
Those are cool too. My mom has that.
And I'm like, oh, and it's spinning that
the one
bitch.
that's like the crank, and I'm like, yo, there's a lot of G in here. Like, there's a lot of G force.
Oh, I'm there for the G's.
Yeah.
I like doing that too with like when I wash fruit. And then I take, because it has like the removable strainer, and then I look at all that dirty water down there, and I look at the fruit, and I was like, look what you did, you little pig.
Yeah, and it's whoa. And then, but also, like, that makes you feel good because you're like, I could have eaten that.
Yeah, which I don't really care much about. Like,
yeah,
I'm not
eating
like
bugs.
hyper intense on
Bro,
like.
if you're eating fruit, you're eating bugs. Just what it is.
And germs. Like, I think that the good parts of whatever you're eating are going to outweigh the bad parts that are on it sometimes.
What's the worst thing you've found in your food?
I haven't really found anything like too insane.
You ever bit an apple, find a worm?
No.
No, that only happens in like Disney movies from the 40s. I don't think that's ever been a real thing.
Or like an apple on a teacher's desk. There's like a fucking worm.
Bro, if I was a teacher and a kid was just like, I like you, here's an apple, I'm fucking smacking that apple, and then I'm going to yell at the kid. I'm not going to hit him.
Yeah, I'd be like, yo, I'm not eating your who the fuck are you? I'm not eating this.
How many times have you gifted a mug to a teacher?
Once, I think, maybe. I don't know. You were big on that? I don't know if I even got my teacher. What are you talking about?
My mom was like boys with all of my teachers.
Well, she was like part of the staff.
Yeah, so like I had to, around Christmas time, it was like, you need to get gifts for all your teachers. So they got mugs, like the ones that they sell at like Starbucks that come already wrapped with like a gift card in it, and then like a bag of instant coffee or some shit.
Yeah, I did that for the ice cream man once.
What?
It wasn't my idea. It wasn't my idea.
So you won't give gifts to your teacher, who arguably has more of an impact on your life, but you will to the ice cream guy that was...
Yeah.
He got in trouble.
What? Did he? What did he do?
You didn't hear about this?
You're making this up.
I swear.
What happened to him?
He got in trouble for like...
For what? Children?
No.
How am I supposed to guess then? Stabbing?
No. That's you think I stabbed like that?
I thought you had a knife and you stabbed someone.
No.
Is that drugs?
The rumor was drugs, yeah.
Oh, whatever. That's fine. I mean, as long as it's not like...
No, it ain't.
Well, to children or to other...
I don't know who it was to or if it's even true, but I'm going to take it as it's real.
Get it how you live it. I mean, I understand drugs are bad, but as long as you're not selling to children or you're not stabbing anyone... Not that, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I was forced to do
Just
this.
give me my great white shark. I don't want some of that great white. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. My dad made me do it.
I swear to God, if you had asked me to pick between your two parents, I would have said your father. 50% chance.
Of course. I don't even know if my mom ever, like, met this guy. My dad knew everyone in the neighborhood for some reason.
Your dad was like, oh, go do something nice for him.
You know what I got? I don't know what the actual, like, gift was, but I do know there were scratch-off tickets in it.
That's such a popular gift around the holidays. Just like buy 10 scratch-offs and just give one to someone because it could be either a meaningless gift or a $30,000 gift.
I honestly hate it as a gift.
If you gift somebody a scratch-off and they win $1 million, are you...
I don't think any scratch-offs can win you $1 million.
No, there are.
If it's a $20 one or something, probably. I don't know. But
Regardless.
I'm saying
no.
100,000.
No.
100,000.
This
Would
is-
you, would you be? Would you not a little bit of you?
No.
This is an age-old question because it'll be like, I buy you a Powerball ticket and you win 35 million. How much are you giving me? We've talked about this.
That's different.
No, that's different. That's not what I'm saying.
Scratch off?
But I
Scratch
gifted
off
it
is a
to you.
gift, bro.
Like Merry Christmas.
Yeah, no, you can't.
And then you win 100,000.
Just to be
Next time I saw you.
Just to be a better person than Joe, I'd give him a little something.
I wouldn't give them like a fixed amount, but I would be like a dinner or something like something really nice, like an elevated version of whatever.
Are you telling them that you
am
won
I
the
the one
money?
who won? You're saying that I win the 100,000.
All right,
No, I was saying somebody else.
All right.
I would not expect anything.
Here we go. Hey, Merry
we're
Christmas.
acting.
Yeah, acting yard. Welcome back.
Wait. Action.
Merry Christmas. I got you this.
Scratch off
Yeah,
ticket?
just a little something. Thank you for all the ice creams you've delivered to my kids.
Oh, I'm an ice cream guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, that's for you. Just best of luck. Ha ha.
Oh my God, I won $100,000 on this.
Wow. Wow. Did you?
Thank you so much for
No
this.
problem, man. Let me see that. How did you win that? Wow.
$100,000. 100,000 big ones.
That's
bing,
so,
bang, boom.
That's so cool.
Fuck ice cream. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you're retiring?
Yeah.
It's $100,000. What year is this?
95.
Not enough.
Right.
I'm so happy for you.
I would thank you so much for this. This is unbelievable.
No
I
problem.
gotta give you something. I gotta give you something.
No.
I gotta give
No,
you something.
you don't
$100,000
need.
just changed my life.
You don't need to do that. You don't need to.
At least let me take you to dinner.
Where?
At whatever you want.
All right. I know
this really nice restaurant.
Yeah.
It's really nice. What's your favorite cuisine?
Wine.
Oh.
They have a good wine list?
Yep.
Sweet. And scene. We crushed that acting.
That's what I'm saying. So you got to offer, like, I got to get you something. Like, no. He's like, at least let me take you to dinner. Now you're in the clear.
But here's the thing. At what point is do you say like, okay? Because I know you as an individual, if this were actually happening and I were to say no, you'd be like, okay. After the first time.
No.
Yeah.
No, I would not.
Yeah, because, yes, I think you...
What kind of... What are you basing that on?
Because you're the type of person, you've openly spoken about this, that like, if someone, like, if there's like one thing of food left, if there's one mozzarella stick left, you'll be like, anyone want it? No. You'll just go, okay.
Frank, we're equating mozzarella sticks to $100,000 that I got from a gift.
I see a very clear parallel between the two.
Okay, you're ignoring nuance here. You think that I would be like, let me give you something. You go, no. You go, okay. And I'm out. And I'll just walk down the street.
I think you're more inclined than I am.
That's bananas that you would think that.
I would sneak the money into your, like, and you'd be like, no, and I'd sneak it into your pocket or something.
I will go on record and say that, like, if someone is offering me money and I am telling them no, I would be offended if you snuck it on me. I'd be like, get this the fuck off me.
Oh, see.
Because
I think it's just like a little playful thing back and forth where it's like, no, yes,
But I'm
money.
also not like that with like the bills, with dinner or whatever. If I'm out with people and I would like, I usually, if I want to pay, I will wait until like before the check comes because I don't want to deal with it like in the moment. I don't want to put pressure on anyone, but I'll say to people like, I would really like to pay for this if that's okay with you guys. Because if there's like, you know, whatever, then we can kind of settle that, whatever. If people are like, I want to pay, and I'm like, it's, or if they say that one time, then I will let that go because that's different than like, are you sure? No, you don't have to. But if they're like, no, I would like to pay for this as well, I'd be like, okay, no problem. Because I'm not trying to fight. You know what I mean? Like, but I will definitely offer.
Fight. It's just a little back and forth.
But I also know that if I'm in that position and I say that, because if someone's like, oh, you know, we want to pay for dinner, I'd be like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, I appreciate that because I know that I will pay it forward at some point or whatever. But if I'm like, no, like, I would like to pay for that. The last thing I want right now is to have this argument where it's like, who's nicer than blah, 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 because it's not even a matter of that. I would like to pay for my end.
You think someone would be trying to like big dog you? If they just pay and don't tell you and they're just like, now you're my bitch.
First of all, at a restaurant, big dog me. I don't care. If I'm at a restaurant and someone's like, I'd like to pay for this, I would be, and it's someone that I know. This happened to me recently where I went out to dinner with people. I was fully like expecting to pay, but they ended up paying. And like their wife was there and, you know, someone else was there. And they were like, oh, like, I'm going to handle it. Don't worry about it. And I was like, all right, like, no problem. Like, I'll just get the next one type of thing. But I'll remember that. So, like, the next time I'm not dealing with this shit 2 in a row. I'm not doing this.
It's like the scene in The Sopranos where Meadows' boyfriend, like, pays for dinner and she's like, oh, no. And he's like, listen, you fuck.
Yeah, and he's like, you fucking, when you have your own family.
How would you deal with that? Like,
I'd be okay with it.
I don't get the... Even in that scene, it's just a disrespect thing.
Yeah, it's like
how is it?
It's like I'm the one that, you know, like I'm the one that's
I'm the head of
supposed to pay.
household.
I'm the head of the household. Like that's back when I think now obviously it's a very different time than it was whenever they made that show in the 90s.
If I went out with my daughter and her new boyfriend and he paid for the bill without me knowing, I would think that he's doing a nice thing, but I also would probably explain that like you don't need to do that. And also like you're a kid. Like they were like in college. It's like you're not paying for the dinner.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be like I appreciate this. Never do this again, and then I'd flash a gun in their face.
Yeah, there's Tony over there.
I mean, thank you. I don't know about that one. Yeah,
You're a little like old school. Not a little. I think you're very old school. Like, you're traditional in a lot.
In
of
what
ways.
way?
Like in ways like that.
I'm fully joking. Like I anytime I've been out to dinner with my father-in-law, I don't let him pay. You know.
What?
You're an adult.
You don't let him pay, you say?
Yeah, like I'm going to get this. Like, please. And I mean, there have been times where like, but like I always like, listen, please let me do this. Like,
yeah.
But I don't think I'm pretty new wave.
See what I mean? I'm pretty new wave.
Yeah. I'm pretty hip.
I'm
pretty hip.
I'm pretty hip to it.
It is going to be really interesting to see, like, when our kids are, you know, at dating age, what, like, the things to do or not do are, you know? Because those things are evolving. Like, if you had told our parents' generation that, like, you know, the son will pay for dinner, they'd have the Tony Soprano reaction. You know what I mean? So, like, I wonder what it will be like, how, like, the cultural norms will shift when they're of dating age.
Well, now we know they've shifted, and it's like, if you're a guy and you pay for on the first date, you're a bitch or something.
Yeah,
apparently.
you're a little simp bitch, apparently.
You're a simp bitch.
You're a simp.
Cuck. Beta.
Soy boy.
And a Democrat.
And yeah. Cuck, soy boy, Democrat, lib.
Yeah, she's free food maxing you.
Free food maxing.
Jester maxing, free food maxing.
You're jester maxing.
Pocket maxing with...
Pocket maxing?
I can't even keep up with all this.
Yeah,
I saw a tweet the other day that was just like, clavicular jester maxed after... and someone like retweeted it and said like, yo, things are being said that have never been said before. Like, this sentence would kill someone in the Victorian era.
Things are being said that have never been said before.
What is jester maxing?
Bro, I'm too old.
I don't even know that one. It's just anything maxing is something you're doing better.
I do think it's funny.
I think it's hilarious.
I think the maxing shit is hilarious.
And like, what is this whole shit with like jaw muscles?
Oh,
like
this
strong
is the
gum?
looks maxing thing is like now becoming like a thing where like that kid that you're talking about, like he would hit his cheek with a hammer so that it would like, the idea is that you would break the bones and they'd grow back and be stronger and you have like better cheekbones. So it's all about like
why?
To be like more symmetrical.
To look like fucking Gaston?
Classically
it's a bad example. Gaston was ripped.
Or traditionally attractive.
But who pull up the picture of the guy I'm talking about. Like who would find that
like clavicular?
I don't know who, but the kid that chews strong gum.
Who the fuck is that?
Oh, you're talking about the kid with like the jaws like that?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know who you're talking about.
You've never seen this dude? I saw it on like Instagram, like World Star posted it or something, and I was just like, this is fucking crazy.
Wait, he's got like balls over
like
here?
You know how like when you're sitting, and this is the only time I've done it, but like when you're getting a haircut and you're getting it like a shave and you look and you do this. You know what I'm talking about? But like when you're getting a haircut and you're getting it like a shave and you look and you do this. You know what I'm talking about? You like
clench your jaw?
Yeah, but you like pop it out to see like maybe I put on a little bit of weight, so maybe it's not looking like it did when I was 18 years old.
Well, I can see your head move, but you have a beard, so I can't really...
Yeah, I guess so. But, like, apparently this dude, like, chews strong gum.
Strong gum.
Like...
Yeah.
It's, like,
real sticky.
Like, workout gum. Not even sticky, but, like, you remember...
Oh, do you remember the Jawser size?
No.
It was called like Jawser size. It's like a thing you put in your mouth and you like chew, and it like supposed to work out this like muscle or something.
Why were you working out that muscle, Joey?
It was a commercial. I didn't buy it.
I don't know about that there.
It's a commercial.
I was gonna say, like, you know, like the gumballs that come in like the ice pops when we were kids, and like after like 3 minutes of chewing, they basically became like chewing on
dust.
Not dust. It was like industrial grade rubber.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? It became like super intense.
Yeah.
So like this kid chews on that and has a jaw that, like, it looked like if you put those chairs on either side of my face.
He's looks maxing.
Looks maxing, jaw maxing,
simp maxing.
Simp maxing.
Yeah.
That's a big one, I'm sure.
I'm trying to find a good picture of him. Is this real? This guy's jaw's big. All right, I got one.
You said that kind of sexually.
I'm not gonna body shame, but
I'm not body shaming. I'm body looking kind of sexual.
This guy's jaw's big. All right, I got one.
You said that kind of sexually.
I'm not gonna body shame, but
I'm not body shaming. I'm body looking at and being like, all right. Just with this kid.
I mean, I don't know who this. Okay.
It's just a big jaw.
Never skip jaw day.
Yeah.
Is this
Ayo, by the way?
One? Yeah. Is this real?
I don't know.
And or is it cosmetic surgery?
It could be. I don't know. And just like a classic American, I'm not going to go and figure it out.
This is the strong gum guy?
This is the strong gum kid. There's videos of him like talking, and like the dude's got a strong jaw.
Is he American?
I don't know.
You heard him talking.
No, like it's like with music and like, and he's got like muscular jaw, dude.
It's very interesting. Or maybe he's got the stuff that Marlon Brando had in The Godfather.
Yeah, but that was down here.
Yeah, but he's got it stuffed in the back.
So this is jaw maxing.
Yeah, this is jaw maxing.
If you were say you were good at maxing one thing, what would it be?
That's a great question. What am I good at maxing? Shit, I don't know. Maybe nothing. Maxed out? I don't know. Whoa, what am I looking at here?
I got him.
Why does he got a
strong gum? Look at that, dude.
Is that no. Wow, that looks. I guess that is real.
Yeah, I mean,
it looks real.
Yeah.
I mean, also judging by what I'm looking at right now, that's not an American.
Yeah,
it's very European looking.
Very, very European. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
Well,
we're podcast maxing.
True.
Yeah,
we are.
We are podcast maxing, I guess.
You can be maxing anything. I think it's funny. Like, if you were closer to the frame than Joe, you'd be like, look, I'm frame maxing you. That's so funny. Like, that's so funny to me.
Oh, it's like used against someone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it
It's
could be
competition. Like, looks maxing, you're trying to outlook.
And like mogging is like, if you look better than me, then it's like Frank's mogging Joe.
I'm mogging you?
Yeah.
These are all words that I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Or we're learning something today. Who told you that the Basement Yard podcast wasn't educational?
Like, you're watch mogging right now.
I mean, you said it, not me. But he's bank account mogging all of us.
Yeah.
He's bank account maxing.
He's cash maxing.
He's cash maxing.
Cash maxing.
He's investment maxing too.
Yeah.
Just the fact that he has this studio, he's studio maxing us.
Studio maxing.
So I guess he's mogging our
He's mogging you in a studio fashion. Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens, you know.
Studio mogging maxing.
Even though we're all jester maxing.
What is that?
It's like funny, like a jester.
Oh, so I mog jester max you?
That I don't know. Now I don't even know. I might get a nosebleed in a minute. Honestly.
I honestly don't know any of how this works.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Jester maxing describes as behaving overly funny, entertaining, or foolish to attract attention from women and friends.
Well, I'm not doing that. I guess we're not doing that.
Well, I'm just gonna leave out that part, but
yeah, because like we're doing this to have a successful podcast. It's not like let's get the ladies.
Yeah.
So then
we're jester maxing,
podcast maxing. I think let's do that.
Well,
that's the title.
No, please God, no. Jester maxing with Frank Alvarez.
Podcast maxing.
That's got to be
podcast maxing would be the. I think that's what you're doing.
Okay. We're gonna advertise Max.
Advertise maxing.
We're advertise maxing real quick,
and then I'll Patreon max.
He's gonna. So we are podcast. Advertise maxing right now. The first one that we have is Hims. Okay, Hims offers convenient access to a range of prescription hair loss treatments with ingredients that work, including chews, oral medications, serums, and sprays. So if you're a guy out there and your hair is like thinning, or you're losing some hair, or you just want to be super preventative, this could be for you. These are doctor-trusted ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil, so it can help stop further hair loss and regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. So very helpful for people that are losing their hair in some sort of way. They have 24/7 provider support and once-a-day treatment options that fit your daily routine. For simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/basement. That is hims.com/basement for your free online visit. All right? Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve, verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information. Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Head to hims.com/basement.